of any access, or maybe if you want to do a text file kind of a thing, if you want to export that, right? So do not show subtotals if it is purely a data and I don't have a numbers, if it's pure dimensions, I don't need a subtotals file. When I click on it, what really happened? Okay, if you see this, the subtotal, or here we have it, and here also we have a subtotal, and even for Europe we have a subtotal. In general, what we do is, assuming you only want it for sub-region, not for the main region, or maybe you would only want for the main region and not for the sub-region, I go here and then uncheck this total sub-region. Okay, that's where it goes up. Even for the color, I do this. Then I get to see this numbers here. Okay, if I slightly doing an undo back, you see the information. If I'm trying to hit this, then every number is getting duplicated because I have a color and the market, and then I have a subtotal. So simply removing the subtotal will give me a plain list. Okay, and if you want to do, if you have like 60 columns or 15 columns or whatsoever, it's quite simple. So go to subtotals, do not show subtotals. Okay. Now, if you want to show a subtotal set at the top of the group, a few people would ask for it, right? It's a simple. So you would have subtotal set at, that's not coming up. Okay, why? Okay, I'll give you with a different examples on this. That needs to be set at the beginning, and that doesn't work with the classic, but that works with the standard pivot that it comes up. Okay, so I said do not show subtotals, and the grand totals are for rows and columns. Okay, so that's going to be my grand total. So I don't have any data at the end. So this is going to be an easy in case you would want to make a certain set of small data from your larger set of data. Instead of you copying it, make a pivot of this, and then change, apply these few things. Like the subtotal do not show, the grand totals are for rows and columns, and the report layout. Remember this. This is going to be like really important thing. Okay, repeat all item labels. So this is going to be a really good functionality. If you see this, if I do that, what happens is it fills up all the gaps with the above data. Okay, above France, which is here France, and here it's going to be Europe, and so on. So let's see this. Repeat all item labels. Done. Okay. So this is how you're going to get this, and even if you copy paste the data, that's simple. That's how it's going to be, right? So these are the functionalities that I would want to show since we are talking about the pivots. And this is the blank rows. Okay, if I say insert blank row after each item, see what happens is every item is going to give you some kind of an blank row. So this would be of help when you're printing certain set of contents, right? So this is going to be of help. Okay, and this is remove blank rows at the each of this. So this is the report layout. Okay, and this is a repeat all items, and if you want to undo this, it's going to be do not repeat items, then this is how it's going to come out. These are all in the pivots, okay, showing the tabular form. So let's see what happens. Okay, so there's no more change. If you see this outline form, so the outline form, you remember this. So this is going to be a kind of a tree. Okay, so if I'm doing this, what is this? So if you see this, the Europe, I'm expanding this, and I'm going to have the subregions as this, and under the subregions, I'm going to have this total. So this is going to be an outline form. Earlier, we used to get the Europe and the France, and then so on, like this. Okay. Compact form. It's going to be the same form that you have by default. Okay. So I'm saying the repeat all item labels that doesn't apply on the compact form. So this is going to be in the tabular form. If you try to do this, so this is how it's going to come out. Now, okay, we'll spend a couple of more minutes on this, because I would want to tell you a couple of groupings as well. Have you heard about groupings, Monique, on the pivots?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, since you heard of this, it's quite simple that you select any of these ranges, that you have, like France and then Germany, and then you could simply right click and then group it, so that you could call it as one of the group. Okay, France and Germany, right? So That way it automatically creates a region and region 2, sub-region 2 on this directly without you going to manipulate your data set. Okay, remember this is, you're not touching the data set, but you're trying to do it on the pivot itself. So this is the grouping that we have. So here I can say banded rows or banded columns. This is something that's going to be useful for us to read if you wanted. Maybe if you're taking this in price and so on, and maybe so this is how it's going to look like. So I mean this is not right, but the banded columns is going to be here. The banded rows are going to be like this. So you can even print this in the required format from the Excel, right? So now getting back to this data that we have on the for pivot windows. Okay, so I would quickly wanted to show you the diagram view as well. Okay, in the diagram view, what does it resembles? It gives you the same view as the structure view or design view in Access. Do you resemble that? I mean, do you get to see that it resembles that similar thing? Right. So now, on top of this data, what I would want you to do on your screen is, okay, on the, in which was and the pivots are not working for you on that specific PC, but I showed you, how the pivots would work. I've got it now. I want you to play with the second set of data that I've got and import them and then create an connections between them. So first study the data on Excel and then we can take it up. Okay. Okay. You want to share the screen, Mani? Yeah. So can you go to the other, maybe you want to close this down and then, or maybe let's give it one more try, before you close it. Go to the manage data model, on the different side, the first icon. Yeah. Right. Now click on the pivots here. Let's give it a try. Yeah. If it works or not. No, it doesn't work. It's quite strange. It's strange. Okay, so let's go to the diagram view and so here we get to see this training data 11. Okay, this is where you can join your workbook relations as well. So now get back to the other Excel that I gave you. Try to open that. There are multiple tabs in that Excel. Okay, maybe you can close this down now. Okay, we will interlink those Excels and then do the stuff. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So how do we? What is the information that we have on the fact internet sales? Maybe we can even do this in the Access database as well. So let's do it in both the sales. How do we link that and how does the import works, and you get to see that particular way of doing this. So let's go this. We have a product key and we have an customer ID. Maybe you want to highlight those fields. We'll identify the fields which can be linked. Okay. Maybe I'll give you and I'll be on the line here, and then you take quick 3 to 5 minutes and then see, what are the fields that we have across all the tabs which can be linked. Just go through this data set. So this is a real life example, where you get this data in multiple Excel files, something similar to what you have yesterday, but these can be linked. Yesterday's example, it's only one of them can be linked. Yeah. Maybe give it a specific name so that it is going to be easy. Monik, you need any help on this?
I don't really know what's going on, so.
That's fine. So you have entered the internet sales, right? And now let's go back. Now we have two queries. One is a product and the internet sales. You want to import one more table here. You could yeah, no, you could simply close and load, or yeah, you could either do this as well. Yeah. Either of it, I mean, you can close or close and load. That would actually take up the load on the Excel. All right, go to the next ones. Yeah. So let's try to do this. So how do we link this internet sales product and product category? We have a product ID. Right. So go to the product table. Yeah. So if you have this, English product name, okay, I would want you to connect the internet sales and the product, and then bring on the English product name onto the internet sales table. So how do we do that? So can you go to this view? Go to this, query dependencies if there are any. Right, that will give you. There is no, from the current workbook itself, we have got it. So this is how we get to see the query dependencies. Close this out now. Okay, so go to this transform. In the transform, what do you get to see it here? Okay, that's very much, yeah. Go to the home button. Okay, you get to see this merge queries, add append queries, and so on. So you want to merge the queries, so click on that, right? So if you click on that, and it's going to merge in the same query. So maybe you cross this out, close this out, merge as new. Okay, hit the down arrow, right, as a new. Yeah, click on that. Here you get to select the product and the internet sales, and try to select the internet sales. Yeah. So now select the product key on both the tables. Right. So we have a left outer join, right? Matching all from the left and matching from the second. So do we want to do that or the other way around? You understand between the joins, right? The left outer and right outer. Mm-hmm. Okay. So what is the join that you think we should do it? Perfect. Right. So how many we have? It matches 60,398. So it matches all the records, right? So click on OK. See what happens now. So it would simply merge that information, right? I have a product and the product English name here directly coming out. Okay. And if you go towards right, I have a standard cost, color, and everything, that we have it in terms of the data tables that would come out here. Right. So this is a merge thing. Now save and close and load this. On the left hand side, you have the close and load button. Click on that. Yeah. Now see on the pivot, on this, you get to see the merge one coming up as well. Using this merge one, at times, I can load it onto the Excel or maybe even create a pivot on top of this merge one as well. So right click on that, merge one. Okay. And okay, so you get to see these options: edit, delete, rename, refresh, load to, duplicate, and reference this, merge and append, and then you have an export connection file. Okay, export connection file would work as something similar to your saved import steps. Okay, that's the commonality between these two. Now simply hit a new tab here on the Excel. Hit a new tab. Yeah, just the plus icon. Right. So go to the insert, pivot table. Right. So here I would give the table name, or I can use an external data source or use a connection. Okay. Use the second option here. Use an external data source. Choose a connection. I want to choose the merge. Okay. Select the merge. Yeah. Perfect. And then open. Okay, sheet one, yeah, that's fine. Existing worksheet. So this is where it happens. That would create a connection again, and then give you the pivot kind of functionalities. So what are we doing here? So we are trying to get the information loaded onto the Excel, and then we have a joins that are created, and then we also can play with the information using the pivots, using the slicers, using the timeline, etc. So here you see the timeline here, and that's what I was saying yesterday, that you would have the timeline as well coming up. So on the filter, on the insert timeline, can you select that? Okay, let me maybe if you can give me control, I'll show it to you. Okay, so here you see this insert timeline. So I can say start date as a timeline. See what really happened. So this is the timeline that I was referring to yesterday, that you could in the slicer, where you could say, from the starting point, where I could simply have this, moved up. See this what I'm saying, and quarters maybe that would be better, or maybe years itself. Okay, so if I wanted to do it for 2021 and 2012 and 13, right? I simply do this and then do it. Right. Can you change the starting point to here? Yeah. So 2012, I have it, and then 2013. So this is how my timeline is going to look like, and this works on your data. Okay. Maybe I have a start date. Look at the start date that you have it now. So it's just 2012 and 13 information, that I have it here. So using this kind of a dashboard kind of a functionality, where you could select the year or months, or maybe you want to do it by quarters, see how does it going to look like second half or so on. And you could simply select this, and then your pivot keeps on changing it automatically. Okay, so these are a couple of functionalities that I would want to show you, which is again pivot table and analyze. This is the insert timeline. Okay, filter connections is nothing but if I have like 3 or 4 pivots, and once I select on Q2, all the information on the 4 pivots should display for Q2. Then I would select in the filter connections. If I have like whatever pivots that I would want to do, I could simply select that and then apply this filter so that it looks like a dashboard kind of a thing, where I would select one of the filter, all the 4 pivots or all the 4 charts whatsoever that I have would get only filtered for this specific range. Okay, so this is on the insert timeline, and insert slicer we have seen that, where what is it that you wanted to do. And so if I select this, right, so I would have this product name and the colors. Okay, and I could simply, instead of doing it on the pivot and filters kind of a thing, I can give this. So assuming that you give this at the starting of the page, that you receive the landing page where you have all the filters, then it's going to be quite intuitive for the user, saying that we want to you for Q1 for the black, maybe the blue, and then I go for the classic vest, or maybe whatsoever that I have. So everything would, the rest of the pivots and so on would get refreshed only for this date. Okay, that's how it's going to be useful. I mean, if you're using these slicers. And alternatively, we can also have the individual filters for the pivot tab. That's how we see it earlier. In a similar way, this is an effective way of doing the things. Okay, so now I'll let this go off. Delete this. Now simply select this and then delete on. Okay, so that's how it's going to be. And once you delete the filters as well, right, the slices as well, the filters would still remain the same. So you need to delete the filters from here, wherever you have it. Once you delete the slicers, it doesn't mean the filters are deleted. The filters are there, still there, just the slicer view would get deleted. Okay, so that's on the pivot table analyze. And since we have this data, and if you see this, load more tables. Okay, let's try to see what are all the other tables that we have it here. Okay, and now you need to tell me, with this functionality, how does it look like? Okay, I'm trying to show tab so that I get some space here. Okay, and then you can reclaim it back by simply clicking on it and show tabs and comments. Okay, now if you see this, since these are not linked already, there is no relationship available. It would come up as slightly different tables. But assuming these are connected, this will be nothing but similar to the query that we create. Remember today? So what are the fields that you wanted to select in the Access database? You're able to do it from this. Okay. And similarly now, if these are interlinked, I think one of them is internet sales is interlinked with the products. Okay, I think there are multiple tables, tabs that we have created. So you can simply select this internet sales, the product, the date key, or maybe the product key. What's happening? Yeah, it's a product key, and I remove the start date, and from the product information. Okay. Category. What is that English name? Sorry, which table is that? Product English name. Are you aware of the yes, English product name. Try to do this, see what happens is, right? So since these two are linked, it is no, these are not linked, and this is not the right set of information, because I need to get just one row of data for each of the things. So if they're not interlinked, this is how it's going to come out. You're going to have this red icon, on this. So assuming just a simple example, assuming that these two data are linked, you're going to have you can seamlessly select the columns from each of the table. Right? It works something similar to as a query in the Access database. Okay, so with that being said, maybe if you want to replicate same thing on the Access database, I wanted to do that. Maybe connect these internet sales and the other tables, link them up, and then create a short query where you have just the product key and the product English name. Okay, as an example, on the Access database, not on the Excel. You want to open Access database and then link that Excel. Just connect this training data table onto the Access database and do the same stuff that we've done on the Excel. Monique, you following what I said on Excel, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you want to take the downloaded ones, maybe not exactly the ones that we created here. If not, I can send you the original version. Okay. Because I think I changed some of them, but that's okay. I think maybe you would want to use the fact sheets, yeah, internet sales, and then use the other things, yeah.